One missing woman may decide the fate of the biggest girl group on Earth. Min Heejin, visionary producer, self-styled SIM card of NewJeans, has been out of sight for months, but her shadow looms over every courtroom bench and corporate boardroom in Seoul. On August 14th, the doors of an arbitration chamber will close on 9 lawyers, 5 idols, and Hybe's billion-dollar reputation. If they strike a deal, K-pop breathes easy. If not, an October 30th verdict could redraw the industry's map overnight. Buckle up, because what's happening behind those oak doors might just decide whether NewJeans ever sings together again. Showdown in court. July 24, 2 p.m. Section 41 of Seoul Central District Court is packed shoulder to shoulder with reporters, each one itching for the phrase that will nuke trending charts. When the clerk calls the third hearing to order, NewJeans' attorney wastes no time. Our clients will return to Ador, but only when Min Heejin does, and only when the label looks exactly as it did before Hybe's audit. Gasps ripple through the gallery. It isn't merely a negotiation tactic. It's an ultimatum in neon letters. For fans, that one-sentence grenade flips hope into high-stakes hostage drama. Either the mother figure returns, or the daughters stay in legal limbo. Yet Hybe's bench looks unmoved, shuffling papers that list quarterly projections and brand safety clauses. The idols keep silent, heads high, almost statuesque, because in court, emotion equals weakness, and any misread sigh can trigger another round of headlines. But that isn't the whole story. The SIM card metaphor. Imagine your phone, the lawyer says, lifting an imaginary rectangle. Swap the SIM card and it still looks the same, but inside it's a stranger. That stranger, they argue, is Ador without Min Heejin. She's the firmware that coded NewJeans' quirky Y2K visuals, the instinct that told them to drop Ditto without warning. Remove her, and the chassis still holds microphones, but the soul is offline. Hybe counters that no single producer eclipses corporate governance. Yet critics note a pattern. First Hybe said Min Heejin overextended budgets. Then they whispered about creative differences. Finally they flagged internal compliance violations. 3 shifting rationales in 5 press releases. For fans, it feels less like a solid case and more like throwing spaghetti until something sticks. Hybe's changing story. Behind closed doors, PowerPoint decks hum to life, mock comeback schedules, draft choreography maps, hypothetical concept boards. Leaked whispers say Hybe is demonstrating readiness to the judge, proof they could launch NewJeans tomorrow if only the girls would cooperate. Skeptics call it cover your backside theater. Busy work that keeps staff salaries flowing while the probability of an actual comeback hovers near zero. Why keep producing mood boards for a group that won't step on stage? Because optics matter. If Hybe appears diligent, they dilute Ador's claim of neglect. If the girls still refuse, Hybe can shrug. We tried. It's a chess match played with Photoshop layers instead of pawns. Doomsday warning. Ador isn't shy about nuke button rhetoric. Their filing warns that terminating the contract would not only decapitate the label, but ignite a domino fall across the entire K-pop supply chain. Stylists, choreographers, even the cafe baristas who fuel midnight rehearsals. Over-dramatized? Maybe. Yet the specter of collapse resonates in an industry built on razor-thin margins and viral timing. If a top 5 act can explode mid-tour, who's safe? Hybe retorts that K-pop survived bigger crises. Think JYJ versus SM, Chris Wu's exit from EXO. But never before has a dispute collided with global stock volatility and social media superfans in the same week. Investors read every tweet like a market signal, and fandom mood swings can wipe billions off market cap overnight. Raids and retribution. While lawyers brandish metaphors, detectives brandish warrants. At exactly 9 o'clock on July 24th, the Financial Crime Investigation Unit stormed Hybe HQ, bagging hard drives, chat logs, and enough spreadsheets to crash a lesser server. Their target, alleged IPO fraud dating back to 2020, when insiders supposedly funneled pre-listing shares through a stealth fund. Hybe insists the IPO was squeaky clean, but the optics of a literal raid on hearing day? Catastrophic. Share price dipped, meme soared. Hybe hide and seek trended within an hour. Insider trading shockwave. Just as the dust settled, a different courtroom dropped another bomb. 3 former Hybe employees were convicted for insider trading, flipping shares minutes before BTS's 2022 enlistment news tanked the market. Sentences. Up to 10 months mercifully suspended, but the fines sting and public trust bleeds. For regulators, it's proof that entertainment gossip can morph into market manipulation. For Hybe, it's Exhibit B in the culture of opaqueness narrative Ador keeps pushing. And what happened next would shock everyone. 7. The billion-dollar lawsuit train. Enter Rojipsa, a law firm smelling opportunity like sharks smell blood. They're corralling at least 50 shareholders for a class action suit alleging fiduciary neglect and market rigging. Potential penalties flirt with the 9-digit zone. And worst-case scenarios whisper the word delisting. In boardrooms, executives refresh spreadsheets in sweaty silence, calculating the cash burn if both the class action and the NewJeans damages hit at once. Meanwhile, Bang Si-hyuk's grand multi-home, multi-genre strategy, set to plant a Hybe flag in Mumbai this fall, looks suddenly fragile. How do you charm Indian regulators when Korean police just raided your nerve center? Global dreams on hold. Hybe's ambitions stretch far beyond Dong Demon. They're co-producing a K-pop-centric blockbuster with Paramount Pictures, betting Hollywood sheen will offset Asia's legal gloom. They've hired culture consultants, storyboard a heroine loosely inspired by the trainee grind, and penciled premiere dates next summer. Yet investors now ask an awkward question. Can a company juggling raids, lawsuits, and a hostage-level idol standoff afford a $100 million film? If the answer turns negative, projects from Seoul to Los Angeles to Mumbai could freeze. For an agency built on relentless forward motion, inertia is death. Countdown to arbitration. August 14th, just after lunch, both parties will step into a sealed room. No press, no microphones, only legal pads and espresso breath. Mediation can birth miracles. Think JYJ's 2012 exit or BP's surprise settlement. But it can also crash spectacularly, leaving October 30th's open court verdict as the final referee. Three futures loom. Reunion. Min Heejin returns. NewJeans release a comeback that shatters streaming records. Hybe touts itself as a flexible, self-correcting giant. Mosaic, a compromise where Min Heejin consults externally. NewJeans split schedules between Hybe and independent ventures. Fans grumble but follow. Rupture contracts voided. NewJeans free agents. Ador sues for damages. Hybe stock spirals. Rival labels court the members before the ink dries. Every handshake, side-eye, or coffee break in that mediation suite nudges the timeline toward one of those futures. Choose your future. So here we stand at the cliff. One signature could reunite a beloved group, salvage a corporate empire, and calm a fandom war. Another could detonate the most public implosion K-pop has ever seen. Will Min Heejin walk back through Ador stores, SIM card slotted neatly where it belongs? Or will NewJeans carve a rogue path, leaving Hybe to battle lawsuits on 3 continents? No one judge, CEO, or die-hard fan can predict the next headline. But one truth remains. In K-pop, the loudest beat isn't always the bass drop. Sometimes it's a courtroom gavel, echoing down a marble hallway, rewriting the rhythm of an entire industry. Stay tuned because the next chapter could drop faster than a surprise single, and you'll want to be here when it does.